What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be breaking down The Flash's Season 9 Episode 4 trailer. But yeah, guys, let's just get right into it. So the trailer starts with us seeing Barry chained up in Red Death's lair, and you can see that there are, dampening cuffs on Barry, so he can't, use his speed. Obviously, if those weren't there, he could just phase out of those chains easily. But in terms of how Red Death could actually, kidnap Barry, how is that possible? I have no idea. Maybe it'll be like a speedster battle that ends with Red Death winning. I thought that would be pretty cool. I mentioned in my last video that they really need to do more speedster battles in the show, so I think if they did that here, that would be really cool. Now, guys, it's also kind of unclear based on the trailer if Barry thinks Red Death is actually Batwoman or not, or a version of Batwoman, but we can confirm that he does think Red Death is the new negative Speed Force avatar, as we hear him say that the hate she feels isn't hers, and her mind is being corrupted by the negative Speed Force, as Barry, started saying in Episode 3. Now, next, we also see Iris at the loft, and the power goes out, and also someone knocks at the door. Now, in the trailer, they make it seem like the person that's knocking on the door is a threat, but the synopsis says that Iris is visited by an old friend, and that's who I think this is. I think this is going to be the old friend. Now, my theory of who this is a little bit interesting. I think that this is actually going to be a good version of Batwoman, or Ryan Wilder. Now, obviously, I know what you guys are saying. In this time, Iris has never met Ryan Wilder, but the reason they could actually call Ryan an old friend is because of their encounter in Season 8. In the Reverse Flashpoint, they were basically family, that's how close they were, but of course that was still in the future. But it did happen in The Flash Season 8, which was a season ago, so they, I guess, could say that it's an old friend. Now, why would I think that this is going to be a good version of Ryan Wilder? Obviously, in these set photos here, you can see Batwoman fighting Red Death, meaning there has to be a good version of Ryan Wilder somewhere in this storyline, and obviously an evil version, that being Red Death. So yeah, I think there's going to be two different versions of Ryan Wilder. Now, I'd still really like them to say that Red Death is a Batwoman from another Earth, or have at least one of these Ryan Wilders be from another Earth, just so we can, have the multiverse reintroduced into the show. But yeah, I think nonetheless, this is still really interesting. Now, I am going to assume that in this episode, we should find out where this version of Ryan Wilder is from, whether it be from Earth Prime or, a completely different Earth. I think that mystery will be solved. Now, getting back to the trailer, for a split second, we do see this sphere thing on, some sort of device, and I think this here represents Red Death's time machine or cosmic treadmill getting up and running, which also leads me to believe the cliffhanger at the end of this episode might be Red Death time traveling for whatever reason, and I think we'll find out why she's time traveling in this episode too, so that should be pretty interesting. But anyways, we also see Mark here, or aka Chillblaine, who's probably going to be regretting his actions from last episode of giving Red Death the last thing she needs in order to time travel, although I really do like what they've done with Mark's character this season in terms of him becoming more of a villain, which is who I always thought he should have been. I thought he should have always been like a Captain Cold type villain. I thought that would have been a lot better for his character. We also see Red Death starting to terrorize Central City in this shot here, followed by hearing something very interesting that Barry says. He says, "I need to know who you really are." Now, like I talked about earlier, Barry may or may not think Red Death is a version of Batwoman. If he does, he's probably wondering here if she's from a different timeline, or Earth. But if he still, somehow has no clue who is under the mask, I think he's just simply asking her to show her face. So all of that should be pretty interesting. And, there's a lot of mysteries with Red Death, so it's going to be exciting to see what happens in episode 4 and 5. And then, yeah, guys, lastly, I will just read out the synopsis for the episode so you guys get a better idea of what might be going on. So it reads, "The Flash is forced to make an impossible choice. With the power out in the city, Team Flash calls upon the Rogue Squad to help as Iris is visited by an old friend. Joe and Cecile work on finding a balance." So, yeah, we basically went over everything that, the synopsis talks about. But the first part, the Flash is forced to make an impossible choice. It's going to be really interesting to see what that means. Maybe it's something time travel related. That would be really cool. But, yeah, that's about it for, the stuff we've got for Season 9, Episode 4. Now, guys, the trailer for this episode does look pretty good, and hopefully the episode does end up being good, because the Red Death storyline so far, I mean, it hasn't been amazing. It's been alright. I'd say it's been like a 6 or 7 out of 10 to start the season. So hopefully with these last couple episodes of the Red Death storyline, they end up being good ones. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on the trailer and, on all the Red Death stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.